When was the last time that you listened to a recording of yourself making a sales presentation? If you're not having the level of success that you were expecting to have, and you haven't listened to a recent recording of yourself, making a sales presentation to a prospect like within the past couple of days, you are the reason that you're not having the success that you had hoped for. I'm Doug Massey, and today I'm going to present to you my version of the 7-day challenge. If you do what I propose to you in this video, you're going to absolutely be a better life insurance agent within like a week. Let's start with a thumbs up, and we do suggest subscribing if you're new to the channel. We're putting out new insurance sales content and final expense sales training videos just like this all the time. The very first time that I listened to a recording of myself making a live presentation, it really did change my life. Not exaggerating. And no, I mean, not at all. Everything changed for me. I literally went from being one of the worst salespeople in my office of over 20 agents to being the best. And guys, before I get into it, if you'd like a copy of the Guarantees of Whole Life Insurance, which is great for your sales presentations, along with the warning page that we mail out with every single one of our policies, so the next agent that comes through the client's door reconsiders doing a potentially unethical replacement, just stick around until the end of the video. I'm going to show you how to get both of these guys for yourself. Before I give you the challenge, let me share with you exactly how that life-changing event unfolded for me. So I was pretty new, right? I was making presentations, wasn't doing great. I finally decided, okay, my bosses, my managers were telling me you need to bring a recorder in. Back then, so we're talking a long time ago, like 16, 17 years ago, you had to buy one of those pocket recorders at the drugstore. So I actually walked into a couple of presentations with it, or no, I think I had it in my car and I was afraid to bring it in. Finally, I had this appointment with a single lady, and I was like, I've got to make myself do it. The bosses are all over me. So I pulled it out and I asked her, is it okay if I record this for training purposes? And she was real cool about it. She was like, yeah, no problem. Again, I was pretty nervous just by pulling that out. It's pretty odd, right? But let me tell you, it changed everything for me. I went through my presentation. I think I was pretty good. Here we have a single lady with a child, a brand new mortgage. It was a life insurance for her mortgage, and I couldn't close her. I tried, did my best. That was it. I was done. I got to my car with that recording. I hit play. I was in South Miami, had like a 45-minute or longer drive home, and I played that presentation, and let me tell you, it was cringeworthy. It was in no way what I thought I sounded like. Some of the things that I was saying to her, I was trying to explain, they were not very clear, first of all. Some of the ways that I spoke, there was no, how do I say this, energy or enthusiasm. So I wasn't coming off clear as I thought I was. I wasn't being energetic or enthusiastic as I thought I was. And then on top of it all, I just realized I was monotone. I sounded like a monotone parrot, and I was boring her, and who's gonna buy from somebody that sounds like that? And that's when the light came on. That was when I knew I had to change everything. I immediately called my manager and I was like, hey, you are right. I got the recording. I finally did what I should have done weeks ago. I listened to myself and I explained to him, this is not what I thought I sounded like. I'm gonna change everything right now. And that's exactly what I did. So here's the cool part. Pretty much overnight, I decided, instead of being monotone, why don't I do what they're telling me in the office and like kind of be like a show, like put on a show, be the insurance man show. And that's really what I did. I went from being monotone to my next presentation. I decided that's it. I got nothing to lose. Hey, I was gonna fall out of the business. It was over for me. So I had no other option. I had nothing to lose. So here I am. This is the interesting part. The next appointment, another single lady. I remember exactly where she was, where she lived, the whole situation. I'll never forget that. I knock on the door. She invites me in. I sit down and I put on the insurance man show. I started off talking about the company with enthusiasm, energy. I was flaring my arms around. Meanwhile, she's smiling at me and kind of giggling the whole time. She wasn't laughing at me. She was laughing with me. She was enjoying the show. And of course, what happened? About 35, 40 minutes later, she signed the documents and handed me the check. This kept happening over and over. I literally overnight went from being the worst agent in that agency, in that office, to being like a top 3 agent. And I will say, I did make another change later, which turned me into number 1, and that was huge too. Okay, here is the challenge, and it's really 2 parts. Now we're gonna assume that you do have plenty of leads to work for the week, at least 100. And I don't care how old they are or how new they are. If you've got old leads from long ago and you can scrub them, bring them in. But here's the challenge. Part 1, Monday morning, start your dials and do not stop until you've made at least 200 dials. And do this every single day. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. If this sounds like a lot, oh my gosh, that's a lot of dials. Trust me, you're in the wrong business. You've been doing it wrong all along. It's completely normal to make like 300 to 400 dials in a single day. Some agents clear 500, believe it or not, just so they can get in a couple of presentations. Remember guys, dialing is how we communicate with enough customers to make enough presentations to make multiple sales. So our agency, we use the Kixie dialer and the Go High Level CRM to make the dials easier, and so that everything is recorded, and so that it's all incorporated in how we generate leads and preset appointments, yada, 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 for all of our agents. Part 2 of the challenge. On Tuesday morning, listen to one of your sales presentation recordings, one of the non-sales presentation recordings. The whole thing. Ask yourself, do I sound smooth and professional? Do I sound smart as a tack? Do I sound like I'm comfortable using the technology? Am I good with multitasking? Am I saying or would I buy from me? Guys, this is what I refer to as being the floor level. Make sure you're making your 200 dials every single day to make that happen too. So when I talk about this floor, it's really the bare minimum you need to be or have in order to become a skilled professional salesperson. Once you're at the floor level, it then becomes like everything can change. I'm telling you, that's when it actually becomes possible for you to develop as a professional insurance agent. I mean, I talk to insurance agents every single day. They love to tell me how many years they've been in the business, and most of them are not professional. If you're not at the floor level, you probably should step away and start working on yourself. No one's gonna basically buy from you. The sales are gonna be minimum. Even the low-hanging fruit buyers are gonna walk away. The thing is, they're not gonna buy from you until you change. At least not without getting like buyer's remorse later. So they may buy from you, oh, I got a sale, but the next thing you know, they're canceling. On Wednesday, 3 days in, do the same thing. Listen to another one of your sales presentations from Tuesday. Work on yourself and change immediately. Make your 200 dials. Yes, do both. Listen to one of your sales presentations each and every day and keep making at least 200 dials per day. If you do this, I promise you, I can practically guarantee that you're gonna be a better agent next week. And if you put the work into yourself, you should be closing. I mean, it should be working. You should notice the change. You should be having a certain level of success that maybe you weren't having before. If you'd like a copy of the guarantees of whole life insurance, along with the warning page that we mail out with every single one of our policies, just email me at doug@ufesonline.com. For more information on working with me on our free final expense leads platform or our preset appointments independent agent platform, just shoot me an email at that same address. As always, when you put the needs of your clients first, everything else will usually fall right into place. Now get out there and make sure that you do something good for someone else today. Happy hunting.